Hello, welcome to Candy Shoppe Yarns, where everything is sugar-free and high in fiber. I am Deborah, the owner of Candy Shoppe Yarns, and this is the ultimate destination for knitting and crochet enthusiasts. Welcome to my channel. It is episode 28. It is middle of April 2024, and I have got a lot to share with you today. Right here is where you can find me online, and what you'll find in this episode today will be projects, both crochet and knitting. So updates on that, happy mail, shop news, upcoming make-alongs, and at the very end, I will have a life update for those who are interested in that. But for those who are not, it's at the end. So you can end at that point and skip it if you want. Let's get started with a little bit of admin. Let's start off with the really fun news. If you have been around for a while, then you may be familiar with last year's make-along. I had a Mermaid Mal. So the month of May was all mermaid themed, making anything that was knitting or crochet mermaid inspired. So if it was mermaid themed names of yarn or colors or a project that reminded you of mermaids or the ocean or whatever it may be related to that, that's what May is going to be all about. I had a lot of fun last year with that. I made a really beautiful crochet lacy summery top, and I made a mermaid cowl and some like shell like socks. Speaking of which, one of those could be the Gathering Shell socks. I gotta write that down, by my sister, Emily Clausen. I'm creating a list of mermaid-inspired projects. So if you have any fun suggestions of what a fun mermaid-themed project could be, either knitting or crochet, like a pattern, please leave that in the comments. I would love to hear that. I just want to write this down so I don't forget. Okay, so what that's going to be is that starts on May 1st. So whips are allowed. So if you have something you've started, which I have, so I'll share that with you later on. You can include anything that you've already started, but it goes through the month of May. How you enter to be eligible for prizes is you share your projects on the Facebook group, where I'll have a post for finished objects for this make-along on the Candy Shoppe Yarns Facebook post, but that will, or page, that won't go up until May 1st. So you can't go on there and post anything until May 1st. Or you can tag me on Instagram at Candy Shoppe Yarns. You have to tag me because I'm finding that if you don't tag me, hashtags are not all showing up. There are some hashtags for another make-along, a year-long make-along for the Enchanted Nostalgia Mal that I saw before. They're not there anymore. I can't see them, so that's frustrating. So you have to use the hashtag MermaidMal20 or MermaidMal24 and tag me on Instagram in order to be eligible to win prizes. Or if you're a member of my Patreon, you can go to the Patreon page, and I will also May 1st have a chat where you can add your projects. So that's the 3 ways that you can enter that. And speaking of Patreon, it is currently paused for the month. I paused that, and it should reopen in May. So at that point, if you have been interested in joining my Patreon, you can do so in May when that opens. That's all the admin for right this minute. So let's get into projects. I have a finished project, and this one was very, very fun. In this bag, I have my leftovers. This was from, I shared this last time in progress. This was from February's Enchanted Nostalgia Minis Club. And the theme for that one was Saturday morning cartoons. And this is the postcard. Did that focus? Let me have a look. There we go. That was the postcard that came with it. And I also had a little strawberry shortcake sticker that came with it. And here are the socks that I made. The sock pattern is the Mountain Vista socks by Emily Clausen of Salt City Knits. And this was so fun. This pattern was designed to use mini skeins, scraps, or self-striping yarn to kind of highlight those. But it's just a really, really simple pattern. So it has just enough going on with this pattern detail, this going through the top of the sock, the front and the top, that, you know, just kind of keeps your interest along with the color changes. But it was not anything difficult that I had to really think about. So that was just really such a fun project, such a fun pattern. This one I did as a test knit for my sister Emily, and this sock pattern is now available. So I used my mini skeins, and then I also used a 20-gram mini for the cuff, heel, and toe. And I ended up making my toe like the contrast color or the coordinating color shorter, because I wanted to make sure you had the same amount of rounds for each color, and I would have ended this one too early when the toe began. So I used a mini skein of my Jawbreaker colorway because I just love that one, and it goes really well with these colors. So here are my leftovers of that mini skein club. I used the most of the green. Why did I use the most of the green? Oh, because I did three stripes of the green, because I wasn't ready to start the toe yet, and I did not want to start the toe color way back here. So I just did a green stripe. So I used more of the green than the rest. This club this month is one that so many people have asked if I have extras, if I had more, and I don't, but I've had so many ask that now I'm just considering dyeing more of it. I'm not sure. We'll see how time and energy allows, but that was my first finished project. I made the size small. There's an extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. And so this one is a 60 stitch circumference, and that's what fits my foot the best. And it has 2x2 ribbing, and I think I did 20 rounds of ribbing before I started the leg. That one was very fun. Okay, my next project, I shared the idea of this one last time, that I wanted to start it, and I had dyed yarn specifically for this, and this was for my Jungle Doodle Cowl by Pacific Knit Co. Lisa Frank style. So with the doodle cowls, there are a whole bunch of charts that you can mix and match and put in whatever order you like. This one, I took one chart and I repeated it again and again and again using my Lisa Frank colors that I dyed. So let me show you what I've got. This one is so fun. This one is so much fun. You're okay, Luna. Just sit down. Lay down and have a nap. Here, I'm going to hold this up in front of me, and then over here I'm going to put the inspiration photo, and you'll have to tell me if I did a good job. Oh, I've got to unroll. I forgot I was going to put clips on here so it would unroll it, but you can get the idea. How did I do? I've got one more color at the top here that I just started. So I just started the sour watermelon color, but what I did is started with, oh, one of you, now I forgot to look and see who it was. Oh, I can't remember. One of you helped name this pink down here, and this one is called Lisa Pink after Lisa Frank. So we have the background colors that change, and then the rest, the spots, stay the same. So we have Lisa Pink, Jolly Joe's. This is like a movie theater candy. Then there's Mr. Blue Sky, Minty Chip, Zesty Lemon Sparklers, Apricot Swirl, and then Sour Watermelon is the last one in this rainbow, and then it starts all over again, and I will do that all one more time. And then for the spots, I've got, let me pull this out. I've got Berrylicious and Black Licorice. So here's the sour watermelon. Oh, this one is really fun, but I'm going to tell you, this is stranded color work with 3 colors in each row. I didn't think about that when I decided to do this project. So this entire project is 3 strands all the way through. But I'll tell you, I'm getting pretty good at it. Like, the hardest part is paying attention to all 3 colors and where I need to catch floats. And you won't see any of the floats when it's done, because this is going to be an infinity cowl. It's going to be longer and then looped together, so it'll go this way all the way around. So you won't see them. So, you know, technically I wouldn't have to catch floats, but what I've found, if I don't, it still doesn't have as great of tension, and I also will find myself catching my fingers as I'm knitting on some of them and pulling it and distorting stitches and having to go back and fix it. Like, oh, you can't quite see, like here, that's been pulled funny and now I have to adjust it. So I just still find it best to catch floats that are particularly long. Like, I may not catch them like I would typically. Like, I'll let them be a little longer. But you can see, like this one, I could easily catch my finger on that and pull it and distort the stitch. So that's what takes me the most concentration, is making sure each row I figure out first, where do I need to catch floats and which of the 3 colors do I need to catch. And most of the time I only have to worry about catching 1 or 2 of the colors, but not all 3. So that's good. But after doing this chart, you know, 7 times, because I've got 7 colors, background colors, I've kind of got it down as to where I need to catch floats. I was going to say something. Oh, yes. So what I did with this, if you look, it doesn't look like the chart has repeated exactly all the way through. What I did is I took one chart and I put it in Canva. Oh, I dropped my pattern so I can't show you. I put the chart in Canva and then I adjusted it so that it kind of alternates like this, like kind of brick layers like that, and then it starts over again and I repeat it so that it looks a little more random instead of perfectly aligned. And then I also removed one of the plain rounds of color on each background section. So typically her charts will have a plain round before and after each chart, but I wanted this to look more seamless. So I removed one either on the top or bottom, just depending on what I thought looked best. So that's how I planned this out. It took me a while to get started because I had to do math before I could get started. I had the chart and, you know, all laid out, but what I had to figure out was how many rows did I want this entire thing to be. So I measured one that I've already made that I liked the size of. And I know my gauge because I've made quite a lot of these by now. So, and then I went through and I divided the total number of rows that I would do, or rounds that I would make, by 14, because I have 7 colors and I'm repeating them twice. And that's how I figured out no, that's not what I did. I figured out how long I wanted it. I knew how long each chart was, how many rounds, and I had 7 colors. Oh my goodness, this is... Now I remember. I didn't know if it was going to end at each chart or if it was going to have to be shorter or taller, but it just so happened to work out that I could do one chart repeat, one chart repeat, one chart repeat of each color 2 times, and it would work out to the size I needed. That's right. It took me a while to figure that out, just like it's taking me a while right now, but but I had to figure out where was I going to start and stop each color, and was I going to repeat it twice, or was I going to have it be once and have them be longer, or, you know, what did I want? So that was the math I had to do to start with. So I'm halfway through, or almost, because once I finish the sour watermelon color chart, I will be halfway through, and then I will start it again and graft it together and block it. Okay, piles. Here's my next project. I cannot remember if this was started last time. I don't think I had started last time. No. So I had mentioned that last time that for Easter, maybe I had started it then. For Easter, a handful of my knitting group, we decided to do an Easter Advent swap. And so I had mini skeins and I was trying to figure out what I was going to make with it, and I decided to make... I really wanted to crochet something. I decided to make the pretty Bobble sweater. I did show this last time, but I don't remember if I had started or not. And I don't know how to say Mon Petit Violon Designs. Yeah, I remembered struggling with that. Yeah. Well, I have a good amount of this done. Oh goodness, I have yarn attached on both sleeves. Okay, here we go. This one is so fun. Okay, so I've got the body done. It's worked bottom up in the round till you get to here. Then I did the back, and then I did part of the front one side and this side together, you know, back and forth. And then once we get up to here, you do just one side on its own. And then you go and crochet ribbing for the neck. I tried crocheting ribbing on this neck and it looked sloppy. This pattern I think is really quite well written. I have been able to follow it quite easily. But when it came to the neck ribbing, it said pick up stitches. It didn't say how many to pick up. It said not too close or not too far away, too far apart. Well, that will mean something different to everybody. So I tried and it looked like a mess, and ripped it out and tried it again and it looked like a mess, and ripped it out and went, I'm not trying that a third time, because I am holding a strand of lace weight mohair with the color, and ripping out mohair is not fun. It's just not fun. And I did not want to do it again and again, because then it makes the mohair less and less fluffy. So I decided I'm going to knit a collar. So I used a US size 4, which is 3.5 millimeter needles. And I started with a 24-inch to pick up stitches and knit the ribbing. But then found that it was kind of stretched out a little too much, and it was easier if I put it on a 16-inch cable. So I started with my favorite Chiagu red lace, but I didn't have it in a 16-inch, so I moved to Addy Turbo Rocket, which I don't care for as much. I don't like the cord and the cable, you know, and the join quite as much, but it worked for this. Everybody has their favorite needles, and so I know that what I might like or what I might dislike could be somebody's favorite, or it's just all personal preference. But, you know, these are not my favorite, but I'm glad that I had it. It worked. So I picked up stitches, and I had to figure out myself what's just enough, not too much, not too little. But I'm more used to knitting, so I found it a little bit easier to do that. And then I knit twice as long as I wanted, and then when it was time to bind off, I used a needle and put a long, you know, the long tail on, and I caught a stitch from the inside with a live stitch on my working needle and worked those together and pulled it off, and kind of whip stitched around, working one stitch from picking up on the inside of the neckband to a live stitch on my needle, and just worked my way all the way around so it folded it down. And the reason I did that is because I felt that it looked a little more polished, and it also kind of mimicked the thickness of this material better, because crochet is thicker than knitting. So I felt like it was a better match. Now it looks quite small. I have not even tried this on. Yeah, I don't want to right now. That's why I haven't tried it on, because every time I'm like, oh, I just don't want to right now. But if we look, let me move the cover. If we look at the neckline, I'm trying to see if it's, yeah, it looks like it's not too high. Like, it doesn't look like it's up here. It looks like it comes down a little bit. But with knitting, I don't know if it pulled it in a little too much. Actually, it feels like it really hasn't. I think once I block it, it's going to relax a lot more. That's the whole goal with this. With when I'm done blocking it, I would like to block it somewhat aggressively so that it's a lot more open and drapey, because that's the thing that I find with crochet, why I typically knit garments rather than crochet, is that I want it to be more drapey, and crochet is not always drapey. This is actually quite a heavy sweater already, and there's still no sleeves. And at the end, I go and pick up along the bottom and do a border along the bottom that goes the other direction. I think is a little scalloped border on the bottom. But what I'm doing is I'm using one color and doing it on one sleeve and then doing it on the other, and then doing the next color on one sleeve and then I'll go do it on the other. So I'll just mimic it both so I can remember what row am I on, what row did I leave off. If I did the whole thing, I'd have to go back and focus a lot more on what row of the pattern repeat I'm on. But these colors are very fun, very fun. So nice and springy. This is actually what I've worked on quite a lot the last few weeks because, you know, it was my Easter Advent. So I did that all during Easter, but I've kind of slowed down on it since then. You know, we'll just keep going on it because it's definitely too warm for me to wear it now, but I don't care. I make warm sweaters and things like that all year round because it takes me so long to make them. I just always want to be working on them. Speaking of sweaters, here's another one. I share this each time and it doesn't seem to be growing that much. Even if I spend hours working on it, it doesn't look like I've made much progress. This is my La Prairie cardigan by Joji Locatelli. So last time I had, I think, just finished blending in the new color and blending out the old, and I think I was around here, so I think I've done like that much. It just takes a long time, but it's okay because this is one of my Make 9 projects and one of my bucket list projects. Like, the reason I haven't done this yet is because I knew it would take a long time. But if I don't start it, it'll never get done. So I might as well start it, and it could just take a long time. But this one, doesn't this look like waves and bubbles in an ocean? This is my Mermaid make-along project because I'm also using my Mermaid Kingdom collection colorways for this. My goal was to have this for an upcoming fiber festival for a shop sample. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I knew that after a month and went, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to stress over it. So I'm just going to keep working on it and enjoy it. And I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. So I've just started fading in the new color, which is the 4th out of 5 colors. So it's still gonna be a while, but that's okay. That will be a heavy focus for May for sure. So that's all the projects that I can share with you right now that I'm working on. So now I wanted to share some happy mail. Got a bag of things here. Let's see, what did I have to share today? Some things are, okay. These are some things that I ordered. So my friend Jules of So Sweet Violet, she was having a virtual spring market, like little fair. And so I ordered a few things from there. Oh, I didn't have plans to order anything, but she was showing a preview of what she was going to have, and there are a few things I had to get. So let me show you the first 3. These are labels for your projects that you can put like on the back of a sweater or on a project bag, whatever. There's a little purple hearts, and I'm trying to balance everything here. I don't have a table with me this time. Pink hearts, and this one, this is the one. This is what got me. I just think that's so cute. They're so cute. Love those. And so I went on just to get those, but I couldn't help myself. I mean, I could help myself, but I decided not to. I got a little strawberry notepad, sticky notepad, which is so cute. It's Rifle Paper Company. And then this really cute bookmark. Look at this. Okay. It is a bunny. A little ceramic bunny on a suede cord. And you just put that in your book, and the little bunny can sit on. Wait, let's see. Let's try it right here. Let me put that away. Oh my goodness, I have too many things hanging out of this notebook. I'm trying to keep everything from falling out of it. Okay, here's my little bunny and the little cord on the end. That's cute. So I am currently reading The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, and it's a series, and there's 6 books in the series, and I am almost done with the 5th one, and I love it. Love it. It makes me think of kind of like Pride and Prejudice, but hilarious. I mean, I always thought Pride and Prejudice was really funny, but this is overtly funny, not like you have to understand the subtle nuances to get the humor. This is just hilarious, really fun. So that's something that I'm reading right now. So I'm going to go put that bookmark in the book that I'm currently reading. And then I really love, there's, oh, what's the name of it? It's a Japanese stationery shop. Anyways, they released this, they called it clear washi tape. I don't know that I'd call it washi tape. It's just clear acetate that's adhesive on the back, but it has like flowers. This one is like peaches, and this one is, oh, you could see it better like this. Okay, this is what the design is. You can do it. And this one has little blue flowers. And then another blue one. And then a pink one. And then I got little, they're like paper clip kind of things. So this will go in my treasure journaling supplies. I've been buying a lot of paper crafting supplies lately, and specifically stamps and dies from the Greetery and another one. I'm trying to remember. Because I have this grand ambition through the summer to, I normally do a lot of sewing in the summer, but I'm finding that I'm struggling when I sew. I end up with a severe pain in my neck and my back, and I'm working really hard on physical therapy and posture and a lot of things with that I don't want to mess with it. So I'm thinking I may have to switch my sewing summer projects to paper crafting. yes, that's all the incoming goodies for right now. I did order a mini skein set. I'm debating on whether or not it's going to be a prize for the Mermaid Mal giveaway or if I'm going to put it in my sweater. We'll see. We'll see. So that will be coming shortly. Okay, shop news. Okay, I have so many fun, like ridiculously fun things that I'm so excited about. First of all, it is almost time for the annual Great Basin Fiber Arts Festival. That is a festival that I love to be a vendor at every year, and I didn't do last year's because it was right about the same time as my daughter's wedding, and I knew there was no way I could manage doing both. But I'm doing it this year. So April 26th and 27th is the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair in Farmington, Utah. And I have been working on product for that festival. And the really great thing about that is that I try to, of course, way over prepare, because you always want to have a full booth. You don't want people who come at the end to feel like they've missed out on everything. And you never know what people are going to want. But the great thing about that is then I can stock my shop with a ton of product afterwards. So I will have a lot of things coming to my shop in just a few weeks for all of you. So I know that it's a bummer if you can't come to the festival, but don't worry, there will be plenty of that in my shop after. So I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I have for that. I'm trying to remember what I have coming up here. Okay. This is one that I have been waiting to do ever since last year, this little collection, because I dyed up some minis just for fun. I was trying something out to see if it would work for my shop. And then the next week, my knitting group, we did a secret yarn swap. And I've talked about this many times, where you take 100 grams of yarn, we put it in a bag with some information about us, and we swap it around, and then we each take a bag and we make something for the person that we received yarn for that year, and then we give it to them at the end of the year. So we've already done our swap this year. So last year I took those minis. Well, I didn't have them with me, so I forgot what they looked like, and I only wrote like really, really vague notes on it. So at the end of the year, I ended up getting the most beautiful gift from my friend Becky Couch. She is half of the Granny Pan Knits podcast. She made the Oak Forest shawl, I think is what it was called. Look at this. I've shared this before, but oh my word. I am not a really big shawl person. I have not made them for quite a while now because I'm just not a big shawl person, but I actually have worn this and worn this and worn this. I need to block it again. It's probably time to wash it because I've used it so much. But she used those minis, and then she also used one of my sample or experimentation skeins from my Barbie collection that she alternated in between. So let me show you the minis. I recreated them after I got this shawl back, and I could see it and remember what I did, and then I made a few adjustments on it so it could be exactly what I wanted. And this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing one. Oh, it's right here. This is my mermaid stand. No, my lemonade stand set. So what I have are, it's a pale yellow base, and then on top I've got a different color. So this one is raspberry lemonade, and it is a more magenta pink over the top. And then I have strawberry lemonade, which is a more red, and then peach lemonade, and then old-fashioned lemonade, You can't quite see in this lighting. This one is lemon limeade, the green one, blueberry lemonade, and blackberry lemonade. So that's one set of minis. I have brought back my Mermaid Kingdom collection. I really love this one because it's packed in this iridescent packaging because it makes me think of water and mermaid scales. So I've got 8 minis because I've got 8 colors in the Mermaid Kingdom collection. And I also have dyed those on full skeins. Okay. And then I have dyed up a handful of my favorite colorways, or some of them, but from my advent calendar this last year. So this is my retro rewind collection. So I've got Spandex, Blush and Bashful, Food Court, Leg Warmers, Strawberry Shortcake, and Aquanet. So I've got these box sets, and I really am having fun with making the labels, doing the graphic design for these. And then I've dyed up a whole bunch of full skeins of some of those colorways. This one is Golden Girls. And I've also got Strawberry Shortcake. I've got Blush and Bashful. And I've got my Malibu Beach colorway. I've got a whole bunch here. I've got a stand of yarns here, and then I've got boxes and bins all around me. But those are ones that I thought would be really fun. But right over here, how do I point? Right over here, this whole rack, which you can't really see, is all my Barbie collection. And so I'm going to be bringing that. But if you look at that, okay, I'm going to grab one. They're too cute. I have my Barbie collection divided into 2 groupings. I've got one that's glitz and one that's glam. And the glam are on my simple syrup base that are not, there's no stellina. And the glitz ones have stellina on it. But look. Oh, it won't focus if I'm right here. They're little Barbie boxes with minis in it. I had so much fun with this. And then making these. So this is the glam bundle. The glitz bundle are farther away, so I won't be able to grab that one. But I have a lot of minis. Then I have lots and lots of full skeins, and I have the 50 gram skeins of DK weight yarn, the Candy Kisses, so you can do doodle cowls. I've just got lots of fun things. And then I've also been making my penny candy charms again. So I've made like 60, 70, I made like 60 the other day, 55, and then I made another dozen the other day after that of my charms. Just a minute. Let me show you a handful. Let's see. Oh, I've got a lot. I've got a lot of different kinds. There's gummy bears. Anyways, I've spent all this week doing almost nothing but labeling and packaging and going to doctors. So that's been this week for the most part. So it's almost time for that event. Okay, the next thing are the clubs. Oh, I dropped it. The Enchanted Nostalgia Club Mystery Minis Club. So if you, well, everybody has received this now, but I'm going to show the March theme. And the theme for that one was paper dolls. So here is the postcard and the artwork for it. Isn't that so cute? So this little girl, this paper doll, her name is Alicia, and it says her favorite food are chocolate chip cupcakes and tea. Her hobbies are playing with her dolls and making them clothes. Her favorite book is Alice in Wonderland. Tell me if you can understand why I picked this one. Her favorite ice cream is caramel. And what she wants to be when she grows up, a magician or an amusement park ride tester. I love it. So there's like Alice in Wonderland where she's stuck in the house and there's a little white rabbit and teapot and teacup. Oh my goodness. So cute, and little mushrooms. So that was really fun. And the back, I have a little dainty floral, wait, I gotta hold it just right. Dainty floral print. So here are the minis. I did not take a photo yet this month. I have not had any time. So it never shows as well on the video, but I'll show it to you anyways. Okay, here we go. So if we look at that here, you can see the inspiration, how it came through. This was very different than the Saturday morning cartoons, and I love this one. I really love this one. I just think it's really soft and tender, kind of. Trying to think of the term for it, the word. So if you have ordered those, we do have year-long make-along, but as I said, if you've just used the hashtag, I can't see it. You have to also tag me in it on projects that you're making with yours. So when you make something with yours, go ahead and tag me in that. And I have actually a handful of those left. When I dyed them, the numbers work out just so that I have to dye like a certain number. So I had more than the orders. So I have a handful of those left in my shop, and whatever it doesn't sell, I'll take to the Fiber Festival in a couple weeks. And the next theme for April, which is currently in my shop, I mean, we're mid-April, but it is Fairy Forest. So I usually will post like a graphic, but that's not what the colors are going to be inspired by. As you have seen, if you have ordered or watched, that's just telling you what the theme is. That's not the graphic because it is a mystery. So it's actually going to look very different, the colors. So you can go pre-order that, and those will ship the end of May or the very beginning, or end of April or very beginning of May because of the Fiber Festival. I have to dye them after the Fiber Festival. So the Mermaid Mal that is coming up. I also have Mermaid Kingdom colorways that will be coming to my shop at the end of April. So if you wanted to get some of those to make your project with, you'll be able to get those at the end of April. And I have ordered more vintage Barbies, and they are mermaid Barbies, and they have come, and so I'm going to be dyeing 3 new mermaid colorways, but they are mermaid Barbie crossover. So I have my Barbie collection, I have my Mermaid Kingdom collection, and this will be a crossover between the two. And I am so excited for those. I'm not going to show them to you right now. I want it to be a surprise, but they are so fun. I'm just really excited, and I feel a little ridiculous that I'm just looking at my collection of Barbies right now that I have out. It makes me so happy. I feel like a little kid, and that's the whole thing with my shop. I just want to evoke those really happy, pleasant feelings from the best parts of childhood. And I know that not everybody has that, and it makes me sad if somebody doesn't have that. But if you didn't have that, hopefully you can create some really wonderful memories today. But I think that for me, Barbies were the thing. So be watching for that. And then I have a mal that I will be doing after the Mermaid mal, and I want to let you know about it now because it's going to start right after the Mermaid mal, and it's going to be to use your advent calendar. Okay, I don't know if you are like me, but you get an advent calendar and then you don't use it in the month, and then it sits there and you feel guilty, and then you order one for the next year, and then you have another one. Well, I do swaps with friends and I end up with a handful of them. And so I want to use my Advents, or at least a couple of them, before this next Advent, Christmas Advent comes. So in the summertime, so starting in June, so June, July, and August, I'm going to have a 3-month use your Advent calendar, yarn Advent calendar make along. I need a name for it. If you have any suggestions, please leave it below, like a suggestion for a name for that make along, and that will be for yarn Advent. So that will be knitting and crocheting, weaving. Yeah. So I'd love to hear if you have a name for that, but get ready for that. And along those lines, many people have asked me if I'm going to have a Christmas Advent, yarn Advent calendar again this year. And my answer to that has always been yes, but I'm just waiting until May to see about my health. And if you're interested in hearing about that, you can hear later. So it's kind of tentatively on hold. I'm giving myself a little bit of time to see if it's going to work. I'm a little bit bummed because the theme that I had picked for this year, I had this year's themed and next year's theme planned out. This year's themed, I just saw somebody announce the same one. Darn it. Oh, I was so excited for that one. I even started some of the graphic designing for it. I might do it next year, but I still have next year's I'll use this year. Thankfully, I had not started any of it. I didn't start purchasing anything for it because I just didn't know what was going to happen. So the answer is hopefully. I'm giving myself till May, and that will give you some time to plan and prepare as well. Okay, so now it's time for life update. We had our knit night, and at our knit night, one of the members, Renee, she brought a stash of yarn that she decided to get rid of, and she just dumped it on the floor and said, everybody take what you want. And it was really fun to see what everybody was picking. It was like there was something perfect for everybody there. So you got to see each other's style, tastes, and personality come out what they picked. So let me show you what I picked. And I actually feel really spoiled, but nobody else wanted these ones. So it's okay. I have felt like overwhelmed by my stash, like I have too much, feeling guilty. But then I came across 2 different YouTube channels where I've seen other people's stash, and everybody can have whatever yarn they want. But it helped me to feel like, okay, I don't have too much. As a matter of fact, I could do with some more. So now I don't feel guilty for having this. I just didn't want to take away from somebody else that may have wanted it. Okay, are you ready to see all the fun? So this is from my friend Kathy. It used to be Hula Hut Yarns, and now it is cat, oh, I have more of her yarn. I forgot her name now. I can't remember. Anyways, look at this pretty one. Now, the reason I picked this one is because it is called 17 Cherry Tree Lane. And if you know me, you know I love Mary Poppins. I especially love Mary Poppins Returns. So perfect. And look at those colors. It's so fun. And this is a skein that will definitely micro stripe. And it would be one that would work well for my ice cream swirl hat because of the way it's dyed. But it's fingering weight yarn, so I would need to hold it double, and I would need to make sure to line up the segments when I start. But even when you do that, sometimes it gets off and it doesn't end up working swirling that way, but I've done that before making hats. Okay, another from, oh, here we go. Here's the new logo, Buxom Cat Knits. This one is, oh, the name is not written on here. Huh. This one is Blissful Silk, so it's superwash merino and silk, and it's fingering weight yarn. I love this pink, if you can't tell. And there was one more from her with her old logo. I'm just going to turn that around because I know that she would want people to remember her current one, which is Buxom Cat Knits. And this one is called Aloha. And this one is a DK weight. And I love that. Love it. Oh, this one was not from Renee, but this was the last day in my Easter swap. And this one is from Salt City Knits, and it is Prairie Sky Sock Set on her biography base. And that's from the Little House collection. Isn't that so pretty? She had these available in her shop recently. Okay, so the other two that I got from Renee, this one is called Tequila Sunset, and it is a cashmere, nylon, and merino. Oh, well, why'd they put it in order like that? It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, but they put it inversed. You normally put the one that has the most first. Anyways, so this one's called Tequila Sunset. This one is also one, it looks like, well, I haven't opened it up. Let's open it up and see. Now I'll tell you what it's going to do. Yep, this one will also micro stripe. So you can see how half the skein is dyed one color and the other half the other. So this will micro stripe depending on what your circumference and stitch count, your gauge is. But typically for a sock, it will. And the last one is fun because I actually have a whole bunch of these minis from Renee from an advent calendar swap that we did. So this is perfect. This is from Sun Soaked Yarns. And I don't think it came like this as a set. I could be wrong, but there are two different tags and two different bulb pins holding it together. So I suspect Renee put it together. So we have Flip Flop is this main one, and Poolside for this. And I have this mini that she gave me. So now if I wanted to use this and I needed more, I will have it. Except for I have it in a set that she gave me that I'd want to keep together. So I could add this to that set or just use this separately. So I've got a stash of yarns that came in and I am not sad about it at all. Okay, more life news. We had Easter, which was lovely. My girls came and everybody worked together on that to make dinner. And we had general conference, which is happens 2 times a year for my church, where it's a weekend event with a lot of inspiring messages and music, and that's something I look forward to every year. And then with my health, I have felt a lot like, if you've watched Fried Green Tomatoes, what's her name? I just forgot her name. She says,
I'm too young to be old, and I'm too old to be young.
That's how I've been feeling a lot lately. Oh, so I mentioned last time that I was diagnosed with Lyme disease and a couple of other things. And I've started treatment, and it has been both easier than I thought it was going to be and harder. It's easier because I was expecting it to be kind of like another round of treatment that I had to do a couple of years ago, that for a month I was just so sick. So I haven't felt horribly sick most days, but it's been harder because the hardest thing for me to adjust to is just the complete exhaustion that I feel all day, every day. Like a level of exhaustion I have not known for a while, or consistently. And that's been the hardest thing. My goal this year was to learn to roller skate again. If you've followed, I bought 2 years ago the most fabulous roller skates, and I wanted to learn to roller skate. And I went out like twice, but I realized, no, I want to go to a roller skating rink, not outside, like on a sidewalk or whatever. So my goal was to do that this winter, but I have not been well enough, and I thought, okay, this summer I'm going to do it. Now my goal is to get off the couch. But I know that it's just while I'm going through treatment, it's going to be rough, and it's okay. Like, I knew that going into it, it's going to be okay. It won't last forever. It's just going to be a while. It might be a little while, or it might be a long while, but it's okay, because some of these dreams, they can hold. They can wait. So it's okay. There's a quote that I came across that says, from John Piper, "Occasionally weep deeply over the life you hoped would be. Grieve the losses, then wash your face, trust God, and embrace the life you have." And I think, the life I have today is what I have today, and today is important. I don't want to wish away today or wait for tomorrow. I want to be thankful for each and every day and live it to the fullest in whatever capacity that I have, because there are too many reasons in life to be happy, too many things to be thankful for. So I'm just trying to focus on that. But one of the things that was really weighing on my mind was getting ready for the Fiber Festival, and I have had so many wonderful people come and offer to help. I have a friend that twists skeins for me. I have a friend that is helping finish bags right now, and I've had offers of help for other things that I had already done. So, it was just so wonderful to have wonderful people that are willing to just step in and help. And then the other thing that's really been weighing on my mind is getting my garden ready. And I've just accepted the fact that this year my yard may be a disaster. But I really, really didn't want a couple of things to be a disaster. I wanted my raspberry beds weeded and thinned. And I really want to get the fairy garden cleaned up. That's Nadia's area, and she's not going to be doing it this year. She has too much going on in life. But my grandkids will love to play with it. And other kids in the neighborhood that come to visit, they love to go see it. So I want that to be cleaned up. And pots in my backyard. I have like 15 large pots. I want to have those planted. But what had to be done ASAP were my raspberry beds. And I would look at it and just think, I can't do that. And I went out and spent an hour one day and got a quarter of it done. And then it had been 2-3 weeks. And anyways, I had the most lovely friend come over yesterday and helped, and she weeded the whole area, and I got the raspberry beds thinned while she was doing that. So that is done. So now I'm just down to the other two, the fairy garden and planting my pots. So I'm just feeling very grateful to have just very kind people in my life. Okay, that was a long episode. If you stuck through, congratulations, you deserve an award. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. It means the world to me. Thank you for your friendship and for your support in whatever way that you're able to offer it. If it's just watching, if it is a like, if it's subscribing, if it's commenting, if it's buying something, if it's a prayer for me or wonderful, kind thoughts, I appreciate it. And I appreciate each of you. And I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you again soon.